going to talk about, like, the wedding dresses.
Is this blocking?
No, you're good.
No? Okay.
Let me get this turned on. This thing might die in the middle of it, but if it goes black, don't worry. It doesn't mean that the podcast has stopped, though. It just might stop recording.
Okay. Whoa.
Is there anything you wanted to talk about?
Not in specific. I feel like we always bounce off of each other.
Yeah. Tell me when you can see the screen mirroring.
Yeah, I see it.
Is it upside down?
No.
Okay. Alright, then you ready?
Mm-hmm.
We're live! Welcome back. I feel like we need a jingle. Welcome back.
No, we need that little sparkle that comes up that's like rock bottom.
That is like the most 90s sparkle thing I've ever heard. Welcome to Rock Bottom, guys. So I haven't been keeping track of how many episodes this is, so
I think this is like 6 or 7.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Welcome
We're
back,
almost
guys.
to 10.
Wow, 10
I know.
episodes? Wait, we should do something special, I feel like we should celebrate somehow. But anyways, hi guys. I'm so excited to have everybody back. I love seeing everybody kind of like come in the morning and check in. So I just got back from Charleston. I did a little mother-daughter trip with me mama and
Michelle.
And if you've ever been on like a mother-daughter trip, if you know, you know. By like day 4, you're both ready to go home.
We were comparing it to like fish in your fridge yesterday.
Yeah. I do feel really fortunate though that I'm like lucky to be so close with my mom, and so like when we go on these kinds of trips, there's like deep conversation. We have a genuinely great time, but I think by the end of it, and I think this is like any trip that you do with like your girlfriend, your sister, your mother, by like the end of it, you're both like sitting in the airport like quiet.
No words.
And you're like ready to go home. No, but it was a really fun trip, and I think everyone is dying to know, because if you kind of have been following along, you know that I got engaged last year and I'm getting married in 2026. And this trip was kind of like a trial run for dresses, which was really quite interesting because I learned a lot. So backstory, I wasn't sure if I was going to be wearing white. I just didn't know. I didn't know how I would feel wearing white or anything like that. So I made an appointment to go try on dresses at like a traditional bridal shop. And I mean, the dresses were beautiful. They were definitely along the lines of like a style I could say I was looking for. But at the end of the day, I tried on 2 and my skin was like crawling, and I was like, get me out of these. They weren't me as a dress, if you know what that means. And I was like texting V, because I was kind of like having a little bit of like maybe like a bridal identity crisis a little bit, because I was like, oh my god, like I don't feel like me in these white beautiful bridal dresses, and I feel like I'm supposed to wear that because again there's like, you know, society pressure to like have to look a certain way on your wedding day. And I realized after looking at Saks and Neiman's Marcus that I actually am gonna go the route of couture, and I'm gonna wear an ulterior couture piece. I actually have a few that I selected that I sent your way. And
they're so pretty.
I'll be honest, I was like nervous to send them your way because I was like, oh god, like, you know, because like everybody.
Well, because it's not traditional, and you've been dealing with that your whole life with not being traditional. So you're kind of, I feel like, used to people being like, what? Yeah. But I'm like, let's get it. Yeah. Let's do all the non-traditional stuff. Who cares?
And I mean, it already is a very non-traditional ceremony, and the way that Zach and I have approached our relationship has been like non-traditional from the start, which I wouldn't have it any other way. I'm so lucky that our relationship is the way that it is after 8 years, but I feel like when I walk down the aisle on my big day, I just want to feel like me. walking down the aisle, not like me in a dress that doesn't represent who I am, my personality, and my style. And I will say, I've had a lot of girlfriends in the past couple of years who have like been getting married and stuff, and like you can definitely start to see people veering away from like the traditional just all white dress, which again, I love. I have seen so many gorgeous bridal dresses.
We were even looking at some of the white ones before you left.
Yes,
and like you were showing me some that you did.
Yes. I think it just, when it came down to it and I put it on, and this is like, I've never worn white a day in my life. So I guess that was like maybe the shocking part was like, it felt like too stark of a canvas against my so colorful body. And it was just like, it felt wrong. I don't know. It just didn't feel like me. So it was like one of those revelations that I was like sad about, but then also excited that I was like, you know what? I'm going to feel like me walking down the aisle, and Zach is going to see me and it's going to look like me. And he was like, he literally said, he was like, babe, you could walk down the aisle in pasties and it would be perfect. And I was like, yeah, of course you would say that.
He wants you to walk down the aisle naked. He's like, get naked, bitch.
If it worked for my family, I would. I'd be like, you're marrying me for me. And isn't that kind of like what marriage represents? Like your person accepting you all the way, flaws and all. Maybe that should be a new tradition. We just walk down the aisle naked.
See-through, naked.
I'm dead. But yeah, so I have selected a designer. The one that I sent you was like, there was like several from that one designer, and then there was another designer who is actually a bridal dress designer, but then she also makes like couture gowns that are still very like bridal-esque, but
it's not like that traditional.
Yeah, like, yeah. And and the colors, like, I'm not planning to walk down the aisle in like fuchsia. The colors that I've picked are still muted, and there are a couple black options in there because I actually had a lot of clients that were like, oh my god, I could see you in black. And I was like, I have always been down for black as well. And to be completely honest, I wasn't sure how my mom would take that. And she actually was like, no, I think black would be super classy. So I don't know. Stay tuned for more on that. I have no idea which direction I'm going. I think what's stressing me out is that the wedding is in 2026. And so I have all this time between now and the wedding. And I could just see myself picking a dress and loving that dress and then finding 4 more before the wedding.
Yeah. I could see that happening too. I feel like everyone, or not everyone, but like I even saw it with Lucy this year, like with her dress. You know what I mean? Like, so my cousin, who we're both very, very close with, we went wedding dress shopping for her, and she originally was like, I want basically like a slip dress. Like, it was literally like just silk, long, and they were getting married on the beach. Yeah. It's a small wedding. It was a very pretty dress, but I was like, hold on. I was like, we need to go try some stuff on. Like, it's actually see what you like. We don't need to be ordering anything like online, you know, whatever. And we went, and she literally is getting the exact opposite of what that dress is. Like, her dress is, I personally love it. It's stunning. It's dainty. It's her. It's literally giving like fairy in a garden. It's exactly what she wants, but it's completely different. And I feel like that's so good that you went and like kind of had a similar experience.
Well, I've literally had so many clients tell me, and hey, if you're watching this and you were a bride in the past couple of years, share your thoughts in the comments because I'd love to know what you have to say. But like, I've heard from so many brides that the dress that they went into, like their ideal, like they were like, I'm gonna go with this style and this dress, was not the dress they wore down the aisle. Yeah. They were like, I went to the place, I tried things on, and I was like, whoa, I wanted something completely different, which I kind of love that. It was the same thing for my engagement ring, actually. I had thought for many years I wanted one thing, and then I went to New York to the Diamonds District, and Zach and I designed our ring in New York City. And I remember walking in and telling the lady, like, this is what I want. I know for a fact. She pulled it out. I put it on my finger, and I was like, maybe not. And Zach,
oh my God.
Zach was like, there's like a single bead of sweat. And he's like, well, it's a lot of money, so let's like maybe make sure.
Where's that?
And so
Zach's already like,
yeah, and so
tweaking.
And I will say, like, I have V, I have my mom, but my whole relationship, like, Zach, because he has such a fun, funky style also, he has also been someone that I heavily, like, go to for, like, opinions and ideas on outfits and stuff. And so, like, this has been so hard because obviously I'm keeping my dress a surprise and a secret for him. So I can't even be like, babe, what do you think of like these dresses and stuff? And that has been honestly very difficult because
I could see that because you guys talk about that stuff all the time.
We have such fun, funky style, and so it's been like I haven't had like that person that I've been with for 8 years to like talk about like outfits with, and so that part has been hard too. And he even said like it's gonna be tricky for him because he wants to wear something that is over the top also. I mean, I literally could see us walking down the aisle in pirate costumes. Like, we're over the top. We're crazy like that. So he was like, I want to wear something over the top, and he wants to try to match me a little bit. So he's waiting on me to figure out my dress, and then I'll have to give him some sort of clue as to, like, how he can kind of, like, mesh with it. But It has been crazy, and I'm enjoying the experience, but I did have like 3 mental breakdowns about like what I'm gonna wear on that day. And you know what? Honestly, I'll probably have 4 outfits. So I don't know why I'm so stressed out.
She'll probably do an outfit change at least 3 times.
Yeah, probably. So, but yeah, if you were a bride and you experienced that, share your story in the comments because I think that is so interesting. I've talked to so many clients who have agreed that like the dress they thought they wanted was not the dress they ended up with, and trying on was so important. So I have a meeting actually with the Saks stylist here in Sarasota. She's gonna have one of the designers that I really like. She's gonna call in those dresses to their fitting room there so I can go try some on. Because the other thing is, when you're curvy, they don't carry a lot of sizes in store, and I've been dealing with that my whole life, and it's something that is super frustrating because I understand that there's bodies of all shapes and sizes, but for whatever reason in the bridal and prom world, it was always just extra smalls available at the store, and you had to order it if you were curvier, and that is so frustrating. So I'm actually really glad that Saks and Neiman's both said that they can order in my size, so I'll be able to actually try it and feel it, because that's the other thing. Like when you go to try on a dress and they're like, can't zip it because it's a size 0.
Well, then you can't even really see what it looks like.
No, and then you also feel fat as hell. And then you're like, okay, just excuse me and my freaking lard ass coming through to try this on. Like, I hate it. Like, and they're like,
you're not a lord.
And then the girl next to me in the dressing room has like 17 clips down the back because the dress was too big on her. And I was just like,
literally.
Kill me.
That was literally Lucy when we were trying on. It was literally like,
clip. Yeah, I'm like, I love that for you.
Yeah.
Me over here, my arm fat is bulging through the zipper because they can't get it on for me. Like, I'm sorry, but maybe this is just like if I ran a bridal boutique, this would maybe be something different. I would love to carry sizes for everybody because that's part of the experience of getting to try everything on, is like being able to go in knowing that you're not going to feel embarrassed about your size or that you're going to feel ashamed that they won't be able to fit you in the dress. I mean, that's just crazy. But you know what? I don't know. I know that there's a lot of like that goes into larger sizing, like, you know, there's more fabric, and so like there's less like models of that size and stuff like that. But honestly, it's 2025. I feel like there should be no excuse. I feel like every boutique should be able to offer multiple sizes. And period. And you know what? If more and more like actual retail boutiques are carrying different sizes, then why can't the bridal boutiques? But YOLO, stay tuned. I will not be sharing my dress with you guys though. I'm sorry. So many of you are asking me to share photos and stuff like that, but I am going to be safeguarding that because I want everyone to be surprised. I want my man to be surprised, my parents, everybody. So the only people that are going to know are you, my mom, my grandma, and that's pretty much it. Yeah. That's pretty much it. And anybody I happen to meet drunkenly at the bar because I could see myself doing that. You can be like, look at this! So, if you see me drunk at the bar, then you can ask me. So I'll probably tell you. Oh my God, don't ask her! I'm dead. But yeah, so Charleston was really fun. I had a really great time. I've been to Charleston several times. I don't know if you guys have ever been, but I learned so much history that I didn't know about Charleston. And I love doing that. This is so embarrassing, but I did not know Charleston was one of the original 13 colonies. And so there was just like... I knew that. Oh, did you? Know that? No, yes. I didn't. I just learned that I knew there was 13 colonies. I didn't know which ones were part of it. And so when we were there, we did a lot of like walking tours and like history tours, and it was so fun. I enjoyed those thoroughly. I just didn't know. I knew nothing. We had the cutest little guide. He was this little old man. He picked us up in his car and he like drove us around. And then there was this other older couple that with us that were super cute, but like deaf beyond belief. Mm-hmm. So the wife was sitting in the front seat. Me and Michelle were sitting in the back seat, and the husband was sitting in the back seat. And the whole time he just kept going, what? And she was like, Tim! And he was like, what? And I was like, oh, I'm just kill me. If I get like that, just kill me. But we learned so much history. And I also learned that I think I could live on the countryside in a little cottage.
Yeah, I think I could see you doing that too. Yeah. You would have to be in some kind of proximity to a city.
Yes.
Because of shopping.
Yeah, my mom and I were saying, yes. So that's what we were saying. Mm-hmm. Because on the way out to one of these, well, it definitely was a plantation, but it is now, I forget what they call it. They give it another word now. Like an estate, I guess, or property or something. I don't know. You can go and tour it. It's beautiful. There's a lot of history, good and bad, and things that you can learn from that. And, you know, on your way out, it was like, there's the city of Charleston, and then you kind of get to like a little bit of like a country area, and then there was a TJ Maxx, and then the plantations were like right there, and you can go to them. And I was like, that's perfect. That's perfect. That's exactly the kind of country I want to live.
I know that you like TJ Maxx, but I also think you need a Target and a Home Goods.
Yeah.
I don't think that you could live without just one. I'm not kidding you.
I could never be
every day. It's probably 4 to 5 days a week, I would say, after work. I track her all the time. I'm tracking her at TJ Maxx, Target, Home Goods every day. Every day. And it's not like she just goes and looks. She's buying things every single time she goes. Like, she'll come in the morning the next day with, like, a candle or, like, something new for the house. Poor Zach is probably like, what's coming out through the door now?
But to be fair, because I do invest in the stock market, I have stock in TJ Maxx and Target. So I'm just contributing to my stocks is all, okay?
I get it.
But no, I do think I would love to live in the country ideally. But, like, so you know how, like, on those estates, it's usually, like, a super long driveway?
Yeah.
Like, you know, like, there's, like, the gates.
It's, like, a really long way.
Yeah, and then, like, a really long way. Mm-hmm. So, like, I would love for you to, like, pull up to the gates of my estate, and then you go down this really long driveway, and my house is right there. But right outside the gates, TJ Maxx, Target, Home Goods.
Just, like, a little mini version
Just, like, a little mini village on the edge. Because let's be honest, I don't think I'm a full-blown country girl. I don't think I could live somewhere that's, like, so far away from, like, city activities. Like, even, like, last night, Zach and I went on a date night last night, and we had the greatest time at Olivia's downtown. I'm not saying that it's amazing because it was named Olivia, but it's amazing, and it was named Olivia, so correlation, of course. But it was phenomenal. 10 out of 10, death row meal for sure. But we were sitting there, and I literally was saying how, like, I love that, like, this is our home here in St. Pete, and I love St. Pete so much because there's so much to do.
I was literally just thinking that when I was driving here. Like, you know, when you, like, take the highway and you get off, and, like, you're going around exit 23, and you just see, like, the city line from right there. Oh, it's so pretty.
It is.
It is so pretty. And it's like the perfect mix of city and beach in St. Pete.
Yeah.
Because I grew up in Lutz, and it was not like that.
Lutz. So yeah, so it's like one of those things where, like, I love the appeal of, like, country living, but, like, realistically, I don't think I could do it simply because I would miss having date nights at different restaurants. Shopping. Going to the beach, the pier, just like all that stuff, or even just like the hot girl walks that I've been leading. I freaking love all that. So I don't think I could just.
You should come with me when I do the coffee pot one because I found out a new route and I'm like
obsessed.
I love
coffee pot.
I did it last night.
Did coffee pot flood?
You probably. Yes, it did. Yeah. Because whenever I remember the first time we walked it, remember that, and it was all the trees, like the palm trees were everywhere, and the houses are being rebuilt.
Yeah.
So every day, not every day, but I'm trying to do this like at least 4 times a week. It's a 3-mile walk, but it's so nice, and you literally pull up to Coffee Pot Park, start walking like right at the front of the park, and then go all the way down, so like you're still on Coffee Pot, and it takes you all the way to the pier. So it's like. Yeah.
All the way to the pier?
Yes. It literally takes you all the way to the pier. It's not like where the pier is, but it's like the park where the pier starts.
Yeah.
So it's like that little beach area. There's like a public restroom. But like if you were to go all the way out to the pier, and then back, it would be 5 miles. But I just walk like up to the restrooms and then back, and it's like 3 miles, and it's so nice. It's like an hour and 5 minute walk.
Oh yeah.
But oh my god, like you just feel so good after. It's great.
Speaking of walking, I have to do a quick little 2025 goal check-in because I've completed half of my walk to Mordor. Okay, so story time. If you know me, then you know I'm a nerd girly through and through. I love Star Wars, Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings, Pirates of the Caribbean, like nerd to the core. And I'm proud of that. So proud of that. But there's this app called the Conqueror Challenge, and it's an app that you download, and you can basically do these like immersive walk challenges that are really cool. And so like I've also been trying to incorporate more walking into my daily routine, and not just outside, but at home too. I got a walking pad. Like I'm trying to like, I don't know.
Move.
Yeah, move. Well, yes, because I'm literally only 30 and my chiropractor's concerned.
You have the mobility of a 75-year-old man.
So I'm trying to get better at that. So like some of my goals this year were to walk to Mordor. So if you've ever watched Lord of the Rings or you're unsure, the 2 hobbits have to take the 1 ring to Mordor to destroy it in Mount Doom. And it's like, I want to say, I cannot remember the exact off the top of my head. It's like crazy, like 290 some miles or something like that. And so like the app, it like is this immersive experience where like every day you check in with either your watch or your Aura ring, and it like tracks your steps and uploads it. And so like every day you're walking to Mordor. And along the way, there are like these checkpoints, and so like all of the checkpoints, you get like a prize. And I just got my prize in the mail.
What is?
Wait, it's so cool. Yes, it comes to me.
I thought it was like through the app.
And I was gonna bring it here, and I forgot. That's what I forgot in my car. But I'll do a story afterwards so you guys can see. But I got my prize, and it literally is the coolest prize ever.
What is it?
You're just gonna have to see.
Oh.
And you're gonna have to tell Lucy, because I know she's gonna want to know too.
No, she's probably.
But all my Lord of the Rings friends, you gotta see the app. It's really cool. I want to say it's about $50, and you basically like challenge yourself to like meet these certain milestones throughout the walk to Mordor. And there's not just Mordor. There's like other ones. There's like Harry Potter challenges. There's like a Mount Everest challenge, which is really cool. There's just all these different ones. The app is really cool. So I'll tag that in my story so you guys can see that. But I was just really proud of myself because I completed so far 145 miles since starting in January. And so I'm on my way. I'm like pretty much halfway to Mordor. I'm walking to Mordor. So that was my walk challenge. And then speaking of like goals updates, I know I'm doing the walk thing, and then I am planning to run a 5K in November. I think it's November or December. I can't remember what the date is. I'm doing the hot chocolate one in Tampa. But anybody want to join, please feel free to join with me, because I think that would be so fun.
I won't be doing that.
I was going to ask you.
No, I hate running.
Well, you don't have to run. You can walk it.
I will walk for 20 miles before I run 1 mile.
Okay, if you think it's a good idea that we do like a fun little like group body lab walk/run in December, y'all let me know, because I would love to have everybody out and we could all dress up and it would be so cute. But yeah, I haven't done a race or anything since I was younger. A lot of people don't know this about me, but I used to race a lot. I ran a lot. I did a couple triathlons. I genuinely hated every single one of them, but I did them. And this one is more so...
Was that a Frank thing? Did he try?
Yeah.
I was going to say, both of our dads... Wait, this is such a funny side note.
It's hilarious, yeah.
Both of our dads are named Frank, and they both, like, love triathlons and run and do, like, all this, like, Ironman stuff. Like, they've both done, like, multiple Ironmans. What's their other similarity?
Triathlons. Frank.
It's not their sign, because your dad's a Gemini. Mine's a Sag.
Mm-hmm.
There's something else. And it is kind of weird, though, because they're like, oh my God.
They're very similar. I think it was just they're both kind of like, you know, similar, like...
Like how they talk and how they act and stuff like that. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But dads are crazy. But yeah, I used to race a lot, and I'll never forget, this is like a crazy story. There was one time when I was younger, I did a triathlon, and I kind of enjoyed it. It was like kind of cool. And my dad was like really excited because he did triathlon. So he was like, oh my God, like I'm going to surprise Olivia with a really nice triathlon bike. And I'll never forget, he like gets the bike, and I'm like, oh wow, okay, dang. And my mom was like, that's like a $2,000 bike, so you're doing triathlons. And I was like, okay. And then I remember I think the last one that I did, it's not that I didn't enjoy them. I do enjoy pushing my body. I think what I didn't like is like, I'm just naturally not a competitive person. So like, I don't find myself looking to like compete against the person right next to me. But whatever, I did the triathlons, and I'll never forget the last one I did was in a lake in Texas. And
in a lake?
Yeah, you do them in lakes.
Oh,
yeah, like an open water park. Yeah.
Okay,
I mean, sometimes they're in a pool, but this one was in like I don't even think it was a lake. It was Texas, so it was like a pond, like a man-made pond. It's very muddy and disgusting.
Oh my
and like
God.
as I'm getting out of the water to head on to the next part, I like look over and there's like some people kind of like panicking, and like I was like, oh no, what's like happening? Like something's happening. Some people had leeches like on their body. I finished the race, but I was like, that'll be my last one. That was the last one. And then my dad, oh my God, my poor dad. So there was this kid on my triathlon team, because I was on a tri team through my high school, and he was the captain of our triathlon team, and he was this senior kid, and we lived in a very wealthy area, but this particular kid did not have any wealth, and he was always struggling. He was trying to afford to pay for his bike and all this stuff. And I had this really fancy, beautiful bike that I loved, and was so lucky that my dad got it for me. But I also was like, I'm not going to use this anymore. And so I voluntarily gave the bike to the captain.
Oh, you actually gave it to him.
And my dad was so pissed.
So mad.
My dad was like, you gave him the bike. And I was like, I said he could have
probably
it.
Like, I wanted that bike.
No,
I wanted it.
Here's the thing. If there's one thing about me, I give stuff to people in need. I literally did one time in New York City. It was dead of winter. It was like snowing, ice everywhere. There was a homeless guy freezing on the side of the road. I literally gave him my jacket. My dad also was like, what are you doing? And I was like, I don't know, like, I've been so fortunate to have all the things that I was blessed to grow up with, and so like when someone is in need and if I can help, like, let me help, you know? So that was an interesting story, because I genuinely hated all of the running and the triathlons, and like, it's not because I didn't like the activity itself. I think I didn't like it as like a competitive side, and I think now that I'm doing it in my older years, I'm doing it more for me, just to like say I did it, rather than like someone's like, you have to do this to like, not that I was ever forced. My parents never forced me to do anything. I don't know. I guess I was just trying to figure it out.
You were, girl. You did it. But you did.
I did. I'm doing a 5K this year. If you want to join, let me know, because I'm dressing up like a reindeer, because it's a hot chocolate run, and one of my clients did it last year, and she looked so cute, my little Quinn, and I want to be like that. And so, to a degree, Quinn runs like 100 miles a day, so I love that about her, and I appreciate that, but I'm just trying to do a 5K.
I will do like any other type of cardio, like stair stepper, bike.
Wait, the vibration plate.
Anything. Oh, have we talked about the vibration plate before? Have we talked about it before?
I feel like we need to.
I feel like Bantam right now. I'm like, listen. Okay, the vibration plate. My mom has talked to me about this. If you're like all into health and you think it's gimmicky, okay, I will listen to you. But it has literally reversed. So my mom has a friend, it's her mother. Her osteoporosis is literally been reversed. Literally reversed, because she did 10 minutes a day on the vibration plate, and she's 75. Yeah, my mom's partner's mom. And literally insane. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna do this, because my mom was trying to say I had like weight loss benefits, which like anything that I hear gimmicky, like weight loss benefits, I'm like me.
Right.
But it actually is really cool, and I feel better. I feel like less puffy in the mornings when I use it, because I'm just naturally one of those people where I just wake up like puffy sometimes.
Yeah, same.
And it literally, I feel like it drains everything, but when you're on it, the shaking is insane.
Yeah.
Like, I literally am like clawing.
I feel like we should have the vibration plate here for one of the podcast episodes.
No, I will bring it in. It is amazing. I literally, though, one time I scratched myself so bad that I had like a bruise. Like, yeah, no, because it's intense. Like, you really like feel your blood moving and everything like that. But I don't know. I think it's cool.
Yeah.
I think it's a cool concept. 10 minutes a day to help with weight loss and reverse osteoporosis. I'm there.
Oh my goodness. Anyways, well, that kind of wraps up today, guys, because if you can hear, somebody is doing something outside the door. Love the Moxie, but still trying to figure out the whole fact that this room is not soundproof, so not sure how that keeps going. I heard that, I was like, no. Yeah, thank you for doing whatever you're doing outside the door. But we will see you guys. I love all you guys. We'll see you next week, and if you have anything you want to talk about or comment on, let us know in the comments, and we'll see you at Rock Bottom next week. So, bye.
Okay, bye. All right, you ready for my ASMR?
Yeah, do your ASMR now. V does the ASMR. Wait. Also, look at how cute this shirt is. I got sardines.
I know, I do like that shirt. It is really cute. It's sardines. It's that. Oh, I'm scared.
Oh. Yeah, that's okay.
He said, is this making noise?
Also, I'm sorry, but it was 2 grown adults. Like, it wasn't even children.
What were they doing?
Just playing on the thing. Like, there's like a little basketball thing right there, and they're like playing with the basketball thing. And he was like, podcast room. And then I like opened the door, and he was like, oh. This hotel's gotta figure things out.
I literally can't. Oh my god. Or maybe just don't have this room right next to that.
Yeah.
I know. Yeah. Oh my fucking god. You know what we should do next time? We should tell some people to input in, like, if they need advice about something, and, like, we give them advice back on, like, their, like, dating life or, like, something crazy.
Yeah.
Or, like, a first date. Wouldn't that be so fun? I would
That
love to tell.
would be amazing.
Yeah,
Okay,
I
so
know.
I'll tell Miranda to do that. So like do a thing where we like want to provide like dating advice or something. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
So we should do like a whole episode on that, because I don't know if you know, but I'm obsessed with Brooke and Jubal, this like old podcast that they used to do in Seattle. Or it's not even a podcast, it's like a radio show. And it's like the thing where like they call in and they're like, this guy won't go back on a date with me, and then they call him and like figure out what it is, but they also like give dating advice and stuff. It's so cool.
So